Joe Perry only plays in one key. Let's get two things straight here real quick. Joe Perry can play whatever he wants to. He's super talented. He can choose whatever key he wants to play in. He's been playing guitar longer than I've been alive, most likely. Joe Perry's amazing. He's so good, in fact, all it takes is for me to look at a few videos of Joe Perry, or maybe even a few still shot pictures of Joe Perry just holding a guitar, and I came up with the Joe Perry music theory to create this video. Secondly, this video is about music theory, meaning it's a concept. It might not actually be true whatsoever, but it's just a theory. It's a concept. It's an idea, something that might help us in our playing. So keep that in mind. Here's the first thing I learned. I was watching, I think it was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame introductory videos. Anyway, I'm not even sure if Joe Perry was playing there, but I thought I seen him, and maybe I started searching it right after that. But I watched Joe Perry playing guitar, and I thought, man, this guy is smooth, right? He makes everything look so easy. He just puts on a guitar and he rocks. It's like he doesn't care what you think. He doesn't care what anybody else thinks. And as a matter of fact, the more videos you watch, you kind of start realizing it's like, maybe Joe Perry is a little bit of a sloppy guitar player. And sometimes in those videos, when you start watching a lot of them, you think all that amazing scales and all those amazing solos sometimes are coming from that other guy on the stage with the Les Paul. And Joe's just kind of got the spotlight on him, right? He's the good-looking rock star. He fits that image perfectly. His hair is done nice, super skinny, got the muscles in the right spot, guitar's hanging at the right level, you know? Anyway, if you Google search images of Joe Perry or start watching him play live, you start quickly picking up on his habits. He either is holding the guitar on the second fret, just like that, mind you. Guitar, or his thumb is always on the sixth string of the guitar. Always seems like he's playing this F sharp minor or the A major underneath it, right? And then I thought, does this guy like only play in the key of A? That was my first thought, right? Or like he's always in the key of A or F sharp minor. But then after looking at a few more images and watching him play, you'll realize he's got this shape going on quite a bit as well. Again, the thumb is always going to be hanging on the sixth fret, and he's always playing in what shape here? Like an A bar chord, right? Whether that's major or minor. And then I noticed, even if he's not playing guitar, let's say he's just holding it, you would think that holding the 12th fret is a pretty stable place to hold a guitar if you're going to take a picture, right? It is. Look, I mean, you're holding most of the body weight, but you know, you can hold it down here. Maybe it's a little bit more uncomfortable because of the heel. But even when he's playing, like say his solos, it's just going to be after the 12th fret. So really, anything at 12th fret and after is just duplicating the notes you've already learned and played up here. So I don't even worry about Joe Perry playing down here. I just say this is free game for understanding what's going on up here. Learn what's going on up here with Joe Perry, and this will all be easy. I know I'm oversimplifying. It's a music theory concept video. Easy. So I thought, man, he's always playing an A major or A minor. And so I decided just to Google search it real quick. What is the most played chord in all Aerosmith songs? Google comes back and the artificial intelligence looks through the entire internet and researches, and it says the most played chord of Aerosmith is the A major and the A minor. And I thought, wow, I'm onto something here. There's something going on here. Now, again, I'm sure Joe Perry can play in any key, but wouldn't it be very easy for all of us if we were to only focus on one key? Choose which key you like and only learn that key. Now, to be fair, he plays it both in major and in minor. So, you know, you could say he's playing two keys, but really his focus is always going to be A, whether that is going to be A major or A minor. The next thing the internet will tell you is to heavily focus on pentatonics. So heavily focus on A major pentatonic or A minor pentatonic. And then surprisingly, its next bit of advice was to play as sloppy as possible. Joe plays very sloppy, and I thought, that was what the internet said, not me. So, you know, Google search it. But let's learn from that real quick. There's a few things we can learn from it. If we were to spend all of our time focusing on choosing what key we're playing before we do anything else on the guitar, ask yourself, what key am I going to play in today? Whatever key you like, choose whichever one, but ask yourself that question and stick to it. The next thing you ask yourself, do I want to play in major or do I want to play in minor? So that's the second thing. Choose what you're going to play in. Are you going to play in the major key or are you going to play in the minor key? Stick to it. You got your key now. You know what key note you're playing in. Choose whichever one you want. You know whether or not you're playing in major or minor. Now focus on either playing all your major and minor of a certain key from the open strings to the 5th fret. Learn everything you can right here. Master 1st fret, 5th fret, right? Master. Learn all your chord progressions in that key and whether a major or minor from open string to 5th fret. Master it. Know where all your notes are at. Learn all your riffs in this area. Learn all your chord progressions in this area. Riffs can easily also mean solos. So basically anything from 12th fret down sounds like it's a solo, right? But you can learn it all, every single bit of it from open string to 5th string. Now, once you've got that mastered, before you think, oh man, what are we going to do from 5th fret down to 12th fret, right? This unknown area, it's not as unknown as you think, right? This is the second position that Joe Perry hangs out in. He goes from his A open chord, boom, immediately to his A bar chord. So everything really at this point, in my opinion, is just being duplicated again. He learned everything he wanted to actually do here. And actually, you'll notice a lot of cool Joe Perry riffs are right here. They're from 5th fret and above. So then, you know, he may come down here and he may hang out in the 5th to the 12th fret, but really he's still just sticking to his same key, whether it's major or minor, and he's duplicating whatever he's done over here, and he's just playing some fun stuff here in the middle. It's not often you'll catch him between, 5th fret and 12th. It's very rare to see him at the 7th fret. You will find those images and see him playing there, but it's very rare. For the most part, he's sticking right in this area, mostly F sharp minor area or A major, or he's on the 5th fret, just reduplicating everything, or he's past the 12th. Again, thumb on the 6th string like always, and he's playing his solo that he probably figured out down here. So that's what I think we can learn. There's another huge reason why they're always playing in the key of A, and this is another thing that can help us. Most likely, and this is what the internet says as well, the reason they're always playing at A major or A minor is because that's where Steven Tyler likes to sing. He always wants to sing in A. I'm sure by now you know that there are other songs that are in Aerosmith written in the key of G or C or D. But I would argue that they're not actually written there. Those chords now become accessible because he's choosing whether or not it's going to be a major or a minor. If you stick to just a major, then technically something like a G. If you stick to like an A major scale, then that means that the G major chord's not allowed. But if you change that concept to an A minor, now you have a G major chord, you get a C major chord, you get a D major, well the D major is in the A major. A lot of major and minor talk here, but I think you know what I'm saying. So use the Steven Tyler concept. What if I or you aren't good at singing, right? I'm not saying Steven Tyler's not good at singing, but I'm saying he's always choosing what key he wants to sing in, right? We can do the same thing. I may be terrible at singing, but if I'm really good at singing in the key of G, but let's say it's hard for me to hit every single note in a G major or a G minor, I can just focus on the triads. Can I hit just 3 notes and just focus on those 3 notes again and again and again? I mean, it's another like cheat code. It's like another another music theory concept. If I suck at singing, maybe I can just focus on 3 notes, hit major triad chords or minor triad chords. So it's just 3 notes. It's another wonderful cheat of what we can learn by simply learning how Joe Perry plays guitar. Last thing I'll say, it mentioned that play as sloppy as you want to play like Joe Perry. What I actually found out about this is Joe Perry a lot of times will throw in notes that should not be played in whether it's a major scale or a minor scale. It's like Joe Perry has this attitude that any note he wants to throw in, he can throw in. And that's true. We can throw in any note we want to. It doesn't change what I've previously said or the fact that he's staying in the key of A, whether it's major or minor. He'll just randomly throw in a note that he thinks sounds cool because that's what the riff needs. We can do the same thing. Have that level of arrogance that you can be like, I'm going to throw in this note. Not because it won't sound good, but because it just sounds like it fits into whatever you're playing. Use any note you want at your disposal. I hope that that helps out and that we can summarize a little bit of this. Choose which key you want. Is it major? Is it minor? and stick to it. Learn it in maybe just 2 positions, right? But master it for sure from open string to 5th fret. Once you unlock the fretboard, once most of us all spend our time figuring out how to go from open to the 22nd fret, we have to figure out what we're going to do with all those notes. And option paralysis comes in real soon, and basically you're just practicing scales and you're not playing any music. Once you understand how to unlock the fretboard, which we all want to do, so go ahead and do it. But once you do it, you're going to have to restrain yourself a little bit. And I think the Joe Perry music theory is a perfect way of us learning how to restrain ourselves. I don't even know if I played any guitar in this video. Rock on.